Hello, AP Distance Learners. This is Mrs. Bennett, and I thought I would record a quick video to share with you some of the things we discussed in class today. I feel like class discussion is one of the things that you guys, as distance learners, miss out on the most. And so I'm struggling with how to recreate that. But I thought today I would kind of summarize what we discussed with you to make sure that the details are coming across the way they should. So, today in class, we focused on looking for details and analyzing what an author presents and how they present it. And this is a process we're going to use to analyze poetry and literature, but we started today by practicing with paintings. So, on Kidim, you have this chart that is an analysis chart. It asks, what details do you see? How are they presented? And what effect does this have on the meaning? These are the steps that we're going to use to analyze poetry as well. We will look for details, figure out what the poet has to say about those details. Like, what do you observe? How is it presented? And then, so what does that mean? Why do they say it that way? And so, looking at that in terms of this bell work, for example, we're actually working backwards with this. I asked you to start with the emotions. This is a very emotional painting. And so we started by identifying the emotions in the painting and then working backwards to see, so why do I feel that way when I look at this painting? Why does it draw out those emotions? And so we started, for example, with the woman, and we said she looks like she is feeling despair or anguish or anxiety. And the painter, which is Edvard Munch, by the way, Munch painted this painting. He's the same guy who painted the Scream. So her posture with her hands on her head like that, and her hair is all stringy, and this look on her face, they display anguish or concern. She's worried, she's upset about something. And we talked about how her hair kind of blends into the scenery. It kind of covers the man over here. And is that a sign of power, or of, is she melting away? There are several different things you could say about her hair blending into the background. And then we talked about the man and how he's kind of not even human over here. At first, you might think he's a rock, but then you see this as kind of a hand, and he's got kind of an ear shape here. And so, what emotion might he be demonstrating? And students said things like he's upset, he's embarrassed, maybe, and he's turning away from the woman. So, he's wanting to distance himself from her. So Monk achieves that emotion with his body language, much like the posture of the woman, the posture of the man here covering his face, turning away, almost as if he's turning to stone. And so we see this gap, this lack of communication between these two people. We talked about some possible relationships between the two people. Are they husband and wife and they've had some kind of argument? Are they did he perhaps violate her in some way? Is what has occurred here. There was one theory that she might be Mother Nature, and this is like a man who has invaded her space. And so that's kind of goes back to her hair turning into this environment with the trees behind them. And so this process is one way of looking at it, where you start with the emotions and then figure out why it looks that way. And then we could go a step farther and talk about, so what statement is Monk trying to make with this painting? Is this a statement about nature and humans and how they don't interact? Is this a statement about men and women? Is this a statement about marital conflict? And but we didn't really quite go that far in class, just kind of a hint of it. All right, so the next video will look at the other painting that I wanted you to look at.